Hello everybody and welcome to Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. For those of you joining me for the first time ever, my name is Sabouts, and if you're returning to my channel for another series, I'd like to welcome you back. Now, Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, for those who may not know, holds a special place in my heart because it was the first game I ever covered on the channel almost 6 years ago. It'll actually be 6 years this November, so I really have a fondness with Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. I've actually gone on to cover the game, I think about 5 times on the channel. I've done 5 different playthroughs, and if you've been around for a bit and you've watched some of my Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead playthroughs, you'll know that usually I always have some type of challenge or some type of role-playing or scenario that I try to incorporate into the game to make it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more fun. And chances are, if this is your first time seeing my channel and you've been drawn to this video, it probably has something to do with the title of the video and what the challenge is, because this challenge is going to be unique. It's going to be different. It's going to be challenging, exciting. It doesn't make any sense. It's going to be a lot of fun though. So I know that title probably drew a lot of you in here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the challenge real quick, just so I can really suck you guys in before we actually go and look at the character and then get into the game. So the goal of the challenge is that once I load into the game, I have to look at the map, I have to assess my surroundings with the knowable map I have in the beginning of the game, and then I have to pick a direction to travel in, and I can only travel in that one direction. I can only go one way. I cannot travel outside of that range, and I'll show you guys the range when we get into the world map. I cannot sit in one spot for too long, and while I'm not giving myself a time limit on that, I am going to be policing myself a bit with the challenge to make sure that I don't sit in one area for too long. Obviously, there's going to be unique circumstances where I have no choice but to sit, and I'll explain a little bit what those are when, as we continue to play through the game. And then I have to basically try to find the edge of the map. That's kind of my goal. Now, Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead doesn't really have an edge. It is a procedurally generated world. It's randomly built as you explore in different directions. So there's not an edge of the map, but is there a possibility that maybe there is an edge? Has anybody ever actually been to the edge of Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead? Or better, even yet above that, can the game even support traveling that far out? If you go, thousands of miles away from your starting location, does the game start to get weird? Does it start to bug out? Do weird things happen? These are the questions I need answered, and I'm going to try to answer those questions for you guys during this playthrough. Hopefully I live long enough to be able to see some freaky stuff. That's kind of my goal. I want to break Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. I want to break it right down. So we're going to get in and take a look at the character, and then obviously as I'm playing, I'll kind of outline those challenges and the perimeters and stuff a little bit longer. So we'll have lots of time to talk about it. So we're going to get into a new game here. Now, I've already built the world we're going to be playing in, and that world is just a pretty basic Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead world. I haven't added anything to the world to change it or alter it. All of it's the basic settings that you would start any game with, city size and such like that. So there's really no changes. The only thing I did add, because there's no mods as well, the only mod I did add was the no freeze mod. It's just a slight gameplay mod that basically makes it so that food items don't freeze in the winter or the fall time and stuff like that. Food is always thawed. It's a silly thing, and if you're not familiar with CDDA, it might seem just so trivial and weird. But for those of you who've played the game, you'll understand that there's a lot of people who hate that feature, and I happen to be one of them. So we're gonna go ahead and select our preset character, the one-way man. I've set him all up. I don't want to talk too much about him. I'm just gonna quickly go over everything about him because I really want to get into the game and start playing it. So this is our character. In the past, what I've done is I've usually set up my characters to fit a role play aspect. So a lot of my previous challenges with Cataclysm on the channel have always been challenges that have a role play element to it and a character I designed to fit that role. For this particular challenge, I found it to be much more beneficial for me to kind of try to micro my character and make him excel to a unique challenge like this, because at the end of the day, the goal isn't to really role play a situation. The goal is to survive as long as I can, to travel in one direction and hopefully break the game, So for stats, I went with Strength of 9, strength of 12, dexterity of 9, intelligence of 8, and perception of 11. I chose the high strength because we're not going to be sitting in one place for too long. We're going to be carrying a lot of stuff with us. That high strength should allow us to carry more items and for a lot longer, give us higher stamina if we got to run, stuff like that. Dexterity I didn't find as important, but I tried to throw a point in there because it still helps with a lot of things. Intelligence, least of my worries really. I want my character to have some level of intelligence. The intelligence is mostly for crafting speed and things like how fast you can read a book. We are going to be reading books to try and get certain skills up because those skills are going to help us throughout the challenge, but I didn't find, we could take the time to read them. I don't think it really matters if I read them, as fast as possible. Perception, I did go with a higher perception because we have a pretty high chance of running into things like traps on the road, things like minefields and stuff, and I want to make sure I don't accidentally step on a minefield and destroy myself, so that was important to me. Perception also helps with shooting, and when you travel across the map, I have found in my previous Cataclysm experiences that the farther you venture out, the more like abyss, like nether creatures and stuff you run into, and a lot of times you have to shoot those because meleeing them is a death sentence. So I wanted to have the perception for the aiming bonus as well. Now for traits, like I said, all micro to fit this challenge. I went with a fast healer, night vision, outdoorsman, and strong back. For my positive traits, the strong back and the outdoorsman are going to be very useful. Strong back allowing me to carry more, and outdoorsman allowing me to not take negative penalties from being outdoors in things like rainstorms, snow, cold, hot weather, stuff like that. Night vision is going to be useful because we're probably going to do a lot of our moving at night, and fast healer is going to be useful because I don't want to sit in one place for too long, and I think being able to heal fast will be able to keep me moving fast so I could try to explore as much map as possible. For the negative traits, we took addictive personality and lightweight were two of the ones, and that's because I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of drugs and alcohol, so those are kind of freebies for me. Farsighted involves reading, having bifocals, reading glasses, so I didn't find that to be too much of a negative. Fast metabolism I did take because we're going to be on the move so much. I think that food won't be too much of an issue. I took nomad, which is actually a bonus. Our character, basically with nomad, as a negative trait, he gets nervous if he sits in one place for too long, but since we're not going to be doing that, nomad was perfect. Poor hearing, not too worried about it. Truth teller and ugly, those are like NPC things, and chances are we're not going to find any NPCs to trade with anyway, so they are freebies as well. Last but not least, the scenario is a safe place, so the game has a chance to spawn me in 8 different safe areas. Some of them are pretty good, some of them are pretty bad. They're all safe, they don't have any zombies around them, but some of them are obviously better than others, so we'll just have to see what we get. Profession, I took crossbow hunter, so we can start with some things that could be useful for us. A crossbow, a quiver with some bolts, a hunting knife I believe we get, and some halfway decent hunting clothing or hunter's clothing. So that'll be pretty useful for this challenge. And it did come with the rifles in 2 because a crossbow uses the rifling skill. So that could be useful, especially if we decide to go graduate from a crossbow to a rifle eventually. And then I did take survival 3. That was the only skill I actually picked and took. And I did that because with this challenge, getting certain items could be tricky. Things like lighters and stuff like that, which are easy to get in the past, could become hard to find depending on the start we get and then how much houses or what kind of buildings are within our direction of travel that we choose. So I wanted to make sure that I could maybe craft things like a way to start a fire or something like that, or some basic survival stuff to kind of get us by. So that is it. Now all we have to do is take a name, and that's the first one that came up, so I'm going to take it. Blake Serta. I like that. That sounds good. And now it's just about starting into the game. All right, and we got a farmhouse. All right, that's not bad. I did 2 practice runs of this by myself before I decided to record it, just to kind of get familiar with the game and stuff, since it's been a year since I've played it. And I'd say the farmhouse actually isn't too bad of a start. I did get a better start. I actually got a shelter at one point, which was pretty good and had a lot of really good stuff like guns, ammo, stuff like that. So I mean, the farmhouse probably isn't too bad. We should have some food and everything. Now, the most important thing I think with this challenge is opening the map and seeing what you spawn with. That ultimately, what the map looks like, is going to really be what kind of hammers home how good of a start it is. Because like I said, I did 2 practice runs, and in my second practice run, I actually had a horrible start where it was really hard to decide what direction I wanted to travel in because there was really nothing around me that was worth going to. And in my first start, I actually was kind of the same thing. So I haven't really had a start where any direction has been the defined direction that makes sense. So we're going to open up the map here now. Real quickly before I do, how this is going to work with the one-way challenge is that I open up the map. I get a chance to assess the map and assess what direction sounds like the best direction. And then once I start traveling in that direction, I cannot veer from that direction. I must forever, infinitely, for the rest of the playthrough, travel in that one direction. There is a set amount of range that I can go within that direction. I'll show you guys what that range is on the map. And I cannot turn around to revisit old buildings or to visit things in the back. I always have to move forward. I can't. So if there's 2 buildings side by side, well, I could travel side by side, but if there's a building ahead of one building, I've got to move, but I can't go back and loot. I can't be like, oh, there was a gun store back there. I missed it. I'm going to go back. I can't go backwards. I have to always move forward. We have to keep moving one way. So it's going to be really weird. I'm going to have to police myself. I'm sure you guys will do a good job of policing me too. You always do. So let's open the map and see if we've gotten lucky or not. Okay. It's fairly bare. Kind of like the other maps. What do we got here? What is this? Is it a campsite or something? It's Amigo Scout Tower. Okay, I've never seen that before. That must be fairly new. I'm going to assume that it's some type of tower that could have weapons and stuff for scouting out for Migos. I'm worried though, because that could possibly mean that maybe it has a chance of spawning Migos around it. That would make sense to me. So as much as I'd like to travel that way and see if there's any guns or anything I could use, if we run into a Migo, that's another creature and it's a game over this early on. We've got a desolate barn, probably not that useful. This is probably the only thing on the map that's useful, and it's a cabin. And cabins can have some pretty good stuff, but I don't know. Okay, so now I can move. I should clarify that I can move around a building, even if that means I'm going backwards in the building. But once I leave the building and stuff and I start traveling in a direction, that's it. But if I go like to this corner of the farm field and then back here, as long as it's within the parameters of the building, I'm fine. I'm not gonna like super just like everything's rigid and set in the rules, and I want this to be fun too. I don't want to get too hung up on the rules and everything. I think we can all agree that as long as I stay within the parameters of the playthrough, and as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that makes sense. I can only make so many lines in the sand, so there's a lot of gray area here. You guys are gonna have to work with me, okay? Now, discussing the actual range of my like lateral movement, my horizontal movement. I can't leave once I start moving. I can't leave within the outside areas. So this right here is the outside, that unexplored area, and this unexplored area is the outside. Even if I eventually get binoculars or something and I'm able to explore more area, I still got to try to stay within this range. It's what is it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's 32 tiles across is what it is. Okay, 32 total, 16 from side to side. Guys, bear with me. I'm not going to stop and count the tiles all the time if something looks like it's right on the edge. I'm just going to try and stay within that, okay? If I drift 1 or 2 tiles out because there's a building or a mansion that carries me 2 tiles out, nobody's going to die. We're all going to be okay. I'm just trying to set a little bit of, guideline here on what it is. So let's start playing because we haven't played yet. Now, there should be a safe area because of the starting scenario. I shouldn't start with anything nearby like zombies or anything that should give me a hard time. We're hoping for some good items. We've got a scissor jack and a wood axe. A wood axe actually isn't bad for a weapon. And we got pliers and a bucket. I actually might be able to. The bucket's got boiling quality and containing quality. It's a galvanized bucket for peanuts, chilled wine, ice beer, lobster, crab legs, french fries, animal feed, farm use, tailgating. Buckets are pretty handy. They don't take up a whole lot of space. They do take up a whole lot of volume. I gotta see if I can find some stuff around the farm that I can craft. That's supposed to be barking, but it's some terrible barking. Or is it zombies? It says from the southwest you hear bark. It just doesn't sound like a bark. I'm using a new sound thing with this as well. So the sounds are going to be kind of cool, different, unique. And completely different tile set. If you're interested in some of the stuff I'm using, you can go down below in the description. I've always tried to put links there for them. And the stuff we've got. So what do we got here? A little bit of food, right? Toastums, oatmeal, peaches and syrup, molasses, okay. Insta salad, PB&H, so peanut butter and honey, I'm guessing. Box of onion rings, that's not bad. We've got a rolling pin and a frying pan. Glass bottle of maple syrup, dried rice. Boy, there's a good amount of food here. Actually, this is almost better than the shelter I started in. Cooking on a budget could be useful to read. I need to get, we need to get a backpack. That's really the big thing I'm hoping we'll start with as a backpack. Oh, bandages. Nice. A pair of bifocal glasses could come in handy. Boxer shorts, sundress. Blazer. Okay, so nothing there, but we might be able to cut something up. A raincoat. Alright, so unfortunately, no backpack. Ooh, zombies. A lot of zombies. Like, a lot of zombies. So they were zombies. They were killing a dog. It's supposed to be a safe area, but it's definitely not. I don't have a lot of time. They've spotted me, right? Actually, they have not spotted me. I can leave out the window. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, that's different. Okay. So let's quickly grab what we can grab and leave. I don't need the Italian seasoning. I'll take the oatmeal, toastums, molasses, peaches, and syrup. Really, that's all I could take. What do we got? So what do we have here? We've got the metal bolts. We've got a hunting knife, a cell phone, which we can drop. Everything else is pretty important right now. I'm gonna wield the knife. Well, I can't though, unless I make a sling for my crossbow. I still don't know what direction I'm going in. I haven't chosen. Obviously, following the road would probably be my best bet, going east. That probably makes the most sense. Cargo pants with small tin can of peaches and syrup. So the tin can is inside the cargo pants. This is all very new. I don't know if I like that much. I think this is where a backpack would come in handy. What did we end up getting? So what did the survival 2 get us? Did it get us anything that might help us? Shouldn't get us anything for here. We do the makeshift sling. We are going to probably do that real quick. A bindle, a swag bag, takes a canvas sack. I can fit some of this stuff. I can't. I literally can't fit any of this. All right, I'm going to eat some of this stuff right now. Okay, they're smashing something up right now. So we ate that, so we're full, we're slaked. I don't think I could take anything else with me. Gonna be honest with you guys. Let me make a sling real quick. I should be able to do that here, hopefully. Damn it, that's new. That's completely new. If you just hit C, the door closes. You don't have to select the direction you want to close something. You just go next to the door and hit C. I mean, it's definitely a better feature. It's just gonna take some getting used to. Yeah, let me go ahead and craft a makeshift sling real quick. Alright, so we've got the makeshift sling. I want to wear that, and let's see, so how do I want to, I can activate it? No, so I think it's insert, if I remember. I'm trying to remember. A lot of this has changed. Insert, so we can insert the, no, not the bolts, the crossbow. And now we've got a makeshift sling with crossbow. Okay, so now we can actually wield the hunting knife and use sheath with hunting knife. Draw hunting knife. And so now we've got the crossbow on our back, which frees up a little bit of space. Okay, it looks like nothing's come up this way, which is good. Let me take the cooking on a budget real quick. Too dark to read, okay. Looks like there's... We can open this up. There's nothing outside here, so we should be okay. So 10 minutes to read. It contains 38 crafting recipes. We could get some different food out of it. A charcoal smoker. I don't know if any of this really helps us that much. So, but Cooking on a Budget is a pretty easy book to read. And it will take our cooking to 3. So then if we find other books later on that could help us, so I guess we could take it. We definitely want these. What if I make a bindle real quick? I've got the hunting knife, so I should be able to cut this blanket up. Oh, I accidentally misclicked and lost some of my footage there, but basically what is going on is I made myself a bindle. No, sorry, not a bindle, a makeshift sling. I think I did that. I think I didn't lose footage before I made that. So I've got the crossbow on the makeshift sling, which is helping me some. I cut up a blanket for some rags. I want to make a bindle, but to make a bindle, we're going to need some rags, and we need a stick or a stout branch, plank, something like that. So I'm going to take the rags with me. We need 6 rags. And we're going to leave this place because there's a large group of zombies outside, and they're on the move. So I don't want them to find me or they'll tear me apart. I'm not ready to handle, 10, 11 zombies at once. So we've got 5 rags. We're going to take 1 more rag with us. So that way we can make the bindle. And we're going to leave. I can't really take anything else. I'd love to try and take more food, but we tried to load up, and I don't believe we had the room. I'll try one more time. I'm not crazy about the new item. If it's working the way I think it's working, I'm not crazy about the new item storing way. Oh, no, it did let me take some of that. Okay, let's see. Instant salad and the onion rings. Okay, so obviously we do have the room now. Maple syrup, dried rice. Okay, so that's everything. Okay, so now we've actually got a decent amount of food. But I don't see the volume and the weight's still low. We just ran out of space. Well, and it's saying that the makeshift sling is carrying 8 items. So all that food is in the makeshift sling with my crossbow. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Either way, we've got the bindle, the rags to make the bindle. We just need to find the stick. So looking at directions to go, I still haven't made up my mind. I think I'm going to go east because the road heads off east. There is the cabin over here, which is pretty lucrative looking. But the way these roads branch off, I mean, I can't travel on this road, but, this road starts to dip south. So there's a possibility that it could eventually turn and go a direction away from me. It definitely looks like this road might continue going this way. Oh, there is a north and south there. So maybe not. I don't know. I'm still thinking east is the way to go for me in this particular run. I don't want to go north because I don't want to travel through the forest. Migos like to hang out in the forest. Other nether creatures. Moose could be a problem. And the Migo scout tower there makes me nervous. I don't really want to go south because there's no road or anything to follow. West kind of makes sense because of the cabin, but I'm still feeling east. I think I'm just going to go east. But let's search these last 2 buildings before we start heading that way. It gives us a little bit of time anyways to kind of think it over. There's the zombies as well. They still don't see me, right? It's really important that they don't see me. That one can see my current location. Just a regular zombie. There's a lot of them. I don't have time to search the building. Unfortunately, guys, I got to leave. They are heading this way. Yeah, they're heading straight this way, so we won't be able to search the rest of the farm. We're gonna have to leave it. This is where the challenge here really kicks in and becomes unique, because I have no choice now but to flee in a direction, and I can't come back. So I guess we're gonna go east. I actually think that's the safest direction because it makes the zombies have to cross the fence here. So it really is my best bet. It is barbed wire fence, so I think it will hurt the zombies if they step on it. I'm hoping they will. In fact, I'm going to try and put some distance between. See, those two zombies see me, and they are heading across. They're heading right for me. All right. We could probably fight two of them. I just want to make sure we're not fighting more than two. That's the crazy thing, too, is like I can't just flee in a random direction to try and lose them. I got to still kind of stick east, which I'm, far within my parameters. I didn't even get a chance to actually loot the farm field, so that sucks. There was a lot of vegetables and stuff in that field that would have been great to eat, or at least picked up. Vegetables don't usually take a lot of space, but oh well. Hopefully we come across another farm in the future. Didn't get to search the barns. Didn't get my bucket. I thought might have been nice because the boiling and stuff. Didn't really have space for it anyways. But the other two barns, we could have found a lighter. We could have found I don't know, maybe a propane torch. There could have been a lot of things. Weapons. Nope. Nothing for me. Actually, what would be really useful is if we ended up finding a vehicle. I can use a vehicle for the challenge if we do find one. A vehicle would be ideal, but that's going to require me to find a vehicle within the parameters of my area. And if I find a vehicle that needs repairs, I can't go backwards to pick up components I had saw previously. And if I go forward and leave the vehicle, I can't go back and fix one if I do find the components later on. So finding a vehicle is literally going to require basically me finding a already fixed up vehicle that's drivable, and then being able to repair it as I continue to travel in the current direction. And then, even then, if I run into a river or something like that, I'll have to abandon the vehicle because I won't be able to ford the river, and I won't be able to drive up the riverbank to find a bridge unless the bridge is right there. So this challenge is just going to pose all sorts of unique things that aren't really normal in something like this. All right, so we've got some open dirt. So east is the way we are going. Anything so far? No, it looks like the road does continue to go east though, which is good. I was hoping it would. Do we get a speed bonus for moving on the road? No, we don't. I always wondered that. Okay, so here's that intersection. The road's starting to dip south though. Hopefully it continues east. I mainly just like traveling on the road because of the potential to run into cars. Cars have a pretty high chance of having things like lighters in them and just little odds and ends that can be pretty useful this early on. Flashlights and stuff like that. All things that I would like. Obviously, it's also nice because I can see around me a little bit better. So if there's zombies or something in the distance or Amigo, I can kind of avoid it easier before it hopefully sees me. Moose and stuff. Traveling through the forest just leaves things heavily open for, a problem. And we've got our first vehicle coming up on it. Oh, maybe it's actually in good condition. I swear to God, if I find a vehicle this early on, I'm gonna freak. It has gas. It has battery. It's a hatchback. The roof is a little damaged. The engine's faulty. Okay. The engine is faulty. It may not start or it may stall from time to time. Finding an engine wouldn't be hard, but having the skill, it's a 1.6 liter inline V4. I could swap the engine, but that could be tricky. It could be really tricky. I won't even be able to repair it. Prevents starting of the vehicle without the appropriate key. It has an active immobilizer. So I actually can't start it without a key. That might be new. There's nothing in it at all. But we're just going to try. Yeah, engine fails to start. All right. Well, won't be the last vehicle we find. There'll be others. Actually, that might be why if we do find mechanic books, we'll want to stop to read them. They could be useful. Ooh, another farm. Hopefully this one doesn't have a bunch of zombies in it, like the other farm. Interesting. Can I jump the fence? I can't. But we know we can travel within the confines of the farm, so that's okay. So we can travel around. So we're gonna go up and around it. Oh, there's a horse here. Boy, can you actually tame and ride horses? That's something I've never thought of. Okay, entrance to the farm down here. I see that there was a wasp in there, so hopefully it's not just full of bees' nests. Actually, the horse, I wonder if that would be, I wonder if they're like moose. Because I could see a horse probably being potentially deadly if you decide to fight one. What do we got here? Can be stored in, yeah, it can be stored. What does this do though? Just songs, and it's a book, some type of book. Some beads, I like that. That's cool. I've never seen that before. We got a pot, don't we? We got a big cast iron pot. It's heavy though. It's super heavy. It's got chemical making, 1 containing, 3 food cooking, and 2 boiling quantity. But yeah, we can't carry it. Not yet. A kitty bowl, a kitty spoon. Actually has some containing quality to it. Nothing else though. No food or anything. Oh, never mind. A little raw lasagna. Bag of breads I'll take since I can carry that. Small cardboard box of food places delicious food. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Can't take it though. A greenhouse. That's very, very cool. I've never seen that before. Never ever seen that before. That is awesome. Oh man, that's so cool. Broccoli seeds. Do we have... it's all roses in here, but can we plant something else here? I wonder how this works. Yeah, the greenhouse is very new to me. So if you can make your own greenhouse, that would be very cool. The wasp must be in here. This must be some type of... No, maybe not. I assume that this was... There's a beehive or something here. There's nothing in here. Oh, this must be like a... Yeah, oh, bird food. Piles of straw. Okay. So there's the horse. The farm continues down here. Looks like a horse barn. We've got a bucket here. I can't take the bucket. Boy, this would be a cool base. I can't do it for this playthrough, but... Ooh, a stepladder. I wonder what that could be used for. I can't do it this playthrough, but man, in a future playthrough, would this not be a cool base? Okay, Top Gear magazine. I do know that I can utilize that. Ooh, is that a purse? I tempted to take it. It's oh boy. It's got some volume to it. I'd have to drop it probably if I got into contact. A lighter. Yes. No, it's empty. Well, I might be able to fill it. I think. I don't know if I can fill it. I can't believe I found a lighter and it's empty. I'll take it. All right, I'm going to wear the purse and see if that gains me. I'll have to drop it. But I'm going to wear it and see if that gains me anything. What can I learn with this? Can bring your driving skill to 1. Okay, so that actually could be useful. Some cattle fodder. Looks like we've got some fertilizer. Rain and tackle. A set of leather bindings to control a mountable creature. Can I take the horse? Is that a skill though? I don't even know if a yoke and a harness. A barn harness to attach to a creature to a wheeled vehicle. They then should be able to pull it. Oh my god. These actually don't seem to take up too much space. I wonder if the purse is allowing me to take that. I'm actually not too over encumbered. I wonder if I could have the horse pull a vehicle. Okay, I'm going to close that because those wasps could be very deadly, actually. Okay. I don't really want to fight him. They are hostile. Its exoskeleton glows with ominous red markings. It's like a mutant wasp. He's going after the horse, isn't he? No. He's hostile, so let's not tick him off. Sometimes the wasp won't attack you. Sometimes they will. I see there's a bunch of them down there. There's another barn or something down there. I don't know if it's like, I don't know what it is. Where's that horse? Because I was tempted to see, he's all the way down the corner now. I could smash this fence and head down to the horse. See if maybe we really can ride him. That is grass. Oh, crap, we let him out. He's making a run for it. Oh, there's two horses. Okay, he's calmed down some. How do we know he's just not going to kick us in the face? He's not hostile. He's fleeing. You know, I bet I need some hay or something to draw him towards me. He's not going to let me ride him. I can't head back to the farm, by the way, now either. All right. That's fine then. We just we'll drop the rein and tackle and the yoke. And just keep traveling east. We've got a trailhead here for this forest trail. Can't take it anyways. Maybe there's something at the trailhead. We haven't found a water source yet either, which could be a problem. Oh, actually, the trailhead's useful because there's a vehicle here. And there's something in the vehicle. And maybe it works. Ah, scissor jack and a wheel. So actually nothing. But do we have a working vehicle? The battery's dead. A battery is dead. So it won't start, right? And we need keys or we need to hot wire it with a screwdriver. So I guess that's out of the question regardless. And nothing else to really head to in our sight. But we're going to leave it off here since we're out of time. We didn't find a water source, so we're going to have to look for that. I think I do have, if I eat the peaches and syrup, that might give me a can. I thought I had a small tin can, actually, so that should give me a can. I thought I had that glass jar. I should have took that glass jar molasses, even if I dumped the molasses out just to get the glass jar. Oh, I got to make the bindle as well. I could probably drop the purse if I make that. So there's a couple things we got to do, and we'll save them all for the next one. We're out of time. What do you guys think about the challenge? Let me know down below in the comment section if you are excited as I am for the challenge, and don't forget to leave a like as well and subscribe if you're new here, because I'm going to upload this challenge fairly frequently and you're going to want to be notified when these videos come up. Thank you all for joining me. Hope that you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you next time.